that. But for me, though I've served, I'm not quite the veteran. I was in the National Guard. I don't have the disability benefits. I would love to have those things. I think you have to be creative in how do you make up those incomes. We will never strip, at least I will never vote for stripping of those benefits or even legislating for that. I will always, say that we should support our veterans in every aspect and everything that they need. But so for me, it would be just simply, what can we cut when we talk about the budget? What can we look into? What can we then raise, and what other avenues? What kind of business can we bring in? As we say, small businesses are great, but what other properties are out there? I see a lot of these houses and these little mom shops and the strip malls empty. So how do we get them filled? How do you get people to come in and start their businesses so they can bring in income?
It's an interesting question. Actually, I was just reading on Facebook and came across a post from somebody who said they were speaking with a current city council member and asked them this exact question and why there are so many people receiving the veteran homestead exemption who don't live in their home and why this isn't addressed. And they were told that they can't talk to them about that. That can't be brought up because that is seen as being anti-veteran. It's not anti-veteran. It's pro-Killeen. It's pro our community. And any veteran up here would more than likely tell you that they want to see what's best for the community that they're living in. If you're not living in a home as your primary place of residency, you're not eligible for that exemption. You shouldn't be getting it. We need to work with the county to make sure that the people who are receiving those exemptions are eligible. That's the first step.
I am a widow of a disabled veteran. That didn't come, they started giving the spouses those benefits. We weren't always eligible for the total exemption. Prior to that, we were only paying $400 a year for taxes. They gave this benefit to the spouses, I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago they gave it to us. And those are the people that are collecting the tax money. And I'm sorry we did that to y'all. I don't have the answer to that. I'm sorry because my husband is 100% disabled. He served this country. He went to Vietnam 3 times. I'm a registered nurse. I have a lot of empathy for anybody that has ever served in the military.
Being a veteran myself and receiving some disabled veteran benefits, I'm not 100%. First of all, that question that was sent up here, it should be sent to our state representative. It's not a city question. First of all, that's a state representative and your state senator question. First, and how we would do it as a local government, we would have to work with our city manager, our mayor and the council to energize our EDC, our clean chambers to bring in to support that system. The council as a whole cannot change that. That is a state level action. The city government cannot do anything. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tell you the truth.
And the question is, what will you take to ensure funds are recouped through the state, federal agencies and resources?
Well, I served for 27 years and I'm a Vietnam vet myself. And we believe that you all who are collecting those pensions and that disabled money coming to you, you're well earning. But this is a state level business, and I know our mayor, our city manager, and other people do go up to the state and put a little pressure, not because, let me explain to you, we got other cities around us, right? We getting hit, Killeen is getting hit with this. Not Hurricane Heights, not Temple, not Copper Skull, but we are. And that's one thing that we need to change. If we're good to serve our country, that's good that everyone in Texas take part of that. Not only us, but the entire state. And that's the way it should be. And that's up to the legislature to change that law.
this is a local and a state issue. And the reason why I say that is that the city of Killeen has a lobbyist fund that you all pay $100,000 per year. A 5-year contract, that's $500,000, and they're supposed to be working on behalf of taxpayers. I voted against that, by the way. That bill was passed in 2005 by a representative out of the DFW. And again, when we think about these unfunded mandates, the state does not have the authority to collect property taxes. That's where our local governments get most of our funding for, is to provide for public safety and infrastructure and playing the road between North and South Killeen. So the thing is that this council is coming forward in September, and we're really going to have to put the hammer down on these lobbyists that we pay $100,000 per year, and we need those unfunded mandates to stop. Every bill that is attached should have a financial analyst to where we are recouped 100%.
First, let me say that as veterans, we need to support them every way possible that we can. But yes, this is a state issue, and I do agree with Councilman Johnson that the city can have some help in it, especially if we're paying a lobbyist firm. They need to earn their money. They need to get out there and work with our local state representatives to go up there and put pressure on them and get. Unfortunately, we are a disproportionate high with veterans here, and we should be recouped for that.
Well, I am a veteran as well, and for someone who has a need and wants to look further into that, I don't have the answer for that, but I will walk you hand in hand to find the answer for that. I will reach up as high as I possibly can go to get that answer for you. And if we are paying a firm to do this for us, we can find the answer to why that hasn't been done right now.
Yeah.
Okay, just like most folks up here, I am also a veteran, and when I looked at retiring, I looked at what states could offer for the veterans, and Texas had the best one going. All right, we support our veterans, and I understand that the state comes down and says this, that, and the other, and we have to deal with it as a city. But there are other ways we can recoup on those losses. Getting businesses to come into Killeen. We're paying a organization $70,000 a year to bring in businesses to Killeen. If they're not doing it, then we should look at them and take that $70,000 and send it elsewhere. The lobbyists, if they're not doing their job, don't pay them. Renegotiate the contract. If you don't do A, B, and C, you don't get paid. Just to throw out $500,000, that's where our tax money is going, on useless events like that. Thank you.
Absolutely. What I would say is, this is my first time hearing anything in reference to that. Very knowledgeable of the fact that the money was a part of a benefit. But here's what we need to focus on. Not just to necessarily go after and get the money. The reason why that causes a problem is because it goes back to the fact that our financial house is not where it needs to be. Now, we can definitely make sure we hold those accountable. If we've got lobbyists, that's fine, we can hold them accountable. But until the legislation comes through and gives you the dollar signs, you still have to manage what you have. And yes, we do need to bring in industry. That's why it's imperative that we bring in industry here so that we can raise the revenue base of Killeen, so we're not worried about that. We're concerned about that because the revenue base is not large enough to do what we need it to do. That's why we're concerned about it.
I brought up the issue on the exemption. How you got on that card so quick is amazing. On an issue like this, all I can say is, as a community, as the Killeen team, which I talked about in the other forum, we just have to bring the pain to these people that are representing us in Austin. That's all it really is. When it comes down to money, the whole thing was passed by representatives who have a very small impact on their community from the 100% disabled vets. So they saw it as a great political win for them to pass something like that. But here we are with so many of our heroes here that are really suffering from the pains of war, and we as a community not only have to suffer along with them, but we have to suffer with our neighbors with less revenue in order to take care of our people. So this is an election year for these people. They're out campaigning. Join me and ask them what they're going to specifically do to help the people that are electing you.
On this issue, we are the proud home of Fort Hood, Texas, and a lot of veterans retire here, and I am happy to have them here. They have served our country, and I believe they deserve this exemption. However, it impacts this community more than other communities, but it gets down to leadership and relationships. I know my state representative and my state senator, and I could go talk to them and get them to help, and that's where this has to come from. The state has to reimburse our city because of the impact that it has upon us, and I believe that my relationship with them will go a long way in bringing that back to Killeen. Thank you.
What specific plans,